Okay, and for those listening on the podcast, as always, we have our special bonus for the week. We bring in Cameron Tucker from BCLC and PlayNow.com for a little between the lines, some intriguing ones to keep looking at here as the Lions get set to invade Hamilton for the rematch. Cam, first off, how you doing?
I'm doing good, fellas. We hit one in the in the last game. We finally got the boost to hit, and yeah, it's always nice when a bet wins in the first quarter or the first half of a game. You gotta love those. James Butler, he was he was going in that game, and yeah, we finally got one here. So doing good. Looking to get back into week 10 now with another odds boost here this week. So intriguing matchup.
Yes, we'll save the boost for last as always, but we'll start with the line. Lions enter this one as a 3.5 point underdog. As far as the money line goes, plus 150 to win the game. As of course, Hamilton red hot right now, 6 wins in a row. Let's expand on that.
Yeah, so a little bit of breaking news on this segment is that the Lions actually were 4 point underdogs this morning. And just as we were texting back and forth, Matt, the line actually changed to plus 3.5 for the Lions. So a little bit of movement that way towards BC. And, we'll see where this line ends up before kickoff on Thursday. But it's an interesting one. Yeah, Hamilton right now is playing lights out. 6 wins in a row. Bo Levi Mitchell, which we'll talk about in a few minutes more, but he's also playing at a very high caliber right now, at an elite level for quarterback play. And Hamilton's rolling, but they're only 3.5 point favorites at home, which I thought was a little bit interesting. I thought it would be a little bit longer. But here the Lions are in a situation where, they should be, pretty motivated to go into Hamilton and get a win. The Lions right now, you don't want to go into the bye week on back-to-back losses. Unfortunately, that happened. And now you have the extra time to prepare for this Hamilton Tiger Cats offense to try to shut them down or at least limit them. And you have Nathan Rourke and James Butler who are playing very well right now. And I think that for the Lions, you have to look at this as it's not must win territory. I mean that line gets overused in sports, but this is a very critical game. You don't want to lose three in a row. You definitely want to keep pace or stay as kind of that leader for at the very least the crossover. You do want to get back into the West Division fight. So I think that for the Lions coming off the bye week, there's a lot of motivation to go into Hamilton, get a road win, and see if they can start to build some momentum in the other direction. It is an interesting game. It's an interesting line, and I was also looking at the total there, guys. 56 points. The over has gone 4-0 in the last four matchups with the Hamilton Tiger
Mm.
Cats as well. So right now, I mean, these teams offensively, they were moving the ball at a very impressive rate in their last meeting at BC Place. So we'll see if they could do that again on Thursday. But yeah, it's an interesting game, and for the Lions, this is a big one. They're 2-2 on the road, and I mean, they should have a feeling of being quite motivated going into this one.
Cammy mentioned it's the rematch from a Lions perspective, and in that week 8, the first leg of these two games here for BC Lions, 70 points scored, and it was a complete shootout with these two quarterbacks, Bo Levi Mitchell and Nathan Rourke. I understand from the Hamilton side, Bo Levi Mitchell, with his recent performances, he's the MOP frontrunner right now.
Yeah, yeah, Bo Levi Mitchell, 35 years of age, and he is right now the MOP favorite with odds of plus 150 at PlayNow. Vernon Adams and Trevor Harris are ranked 2 and 3 in terms of the odds, and Nathan Rourke is at plus 1,500. But just looking at the numbers, like Bo Levi Mitchell, is out throwing. I think he had 40 pass attempts against the Edmonton Elks last week. 389 yards passing against the BC Lions a couple of weeks ago in BC Place. And right now, I mean, looking at his numbers, he's got over 2,500 pass yards. But the number that I'm looking at that I think really stands out for me is 18 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions. He's not turning the ball over. So they're slinging it out there, but he's not turning the ball over. I think that's very impressive. And, I think fully deserving right now to be the favorite to win the MOP. Now, for the BC Lions, I think defensively got to take to heart the fact that you got to get pressure on the quarterback. You got to try to just disrupt him. Trevor Harris might be playing at an elite level right now. He might be the MOP favorite, but he's human. And for the BC Lions, I think that the first key to success, especially when you're playing on a short week like like Hamilton is, BC's had a bit of a rest, is getting pressure on this quarterback and seeing if you can force him to make some bad throws, make some mistakes, and maybe knock him down a peg. Because Levi Mitchell right now is playing it. He is the best quarterback right now in the CFL based on the numbers, and fully deserving of being that MOP front runner. But I think for the Lions defensively begins and ends with getting pressure on the quarterback and seeing if you can disrupt him and disrupt this pass game.
And finally, to wrap up our Between the Lions conversation, we're back to the drawing board with the bet boost. It's the what have you done for me lately kind of league in both industries. But what are we doing this week, Cam? Looking toward the Nathan Rourke, James Butler. What do you got?
Yeah, our winner was 2 weeks ago. We've forgotten about that now. We're moving on. We're going to be looking at Nathan Rourke, and we talked about Levi Mitchell being impressive right now. The thing that stands out for me is Nathan Rourke has hit 275 plus pass yards in each of his last 4 games. He's been very good. And I think that offensively, the Lions moved the ball very well against Hamilton in that game. And, they rushed the ball well. They threw the ball well. Nathan Rourke had 289 pass yards, no interceptions. Didn't have a touchdown pass, which I had to look at that a couple of times to make sure that was correct. But he's moved the ball very effectively since coming back from his injury. So I think that we're probably going to look at Nathan Rourke pass yards and Nathan Rourke touchdown passes for our boost. Probably looking at about that 275 plus yard milestone in terms of pass yards, and probably look to add in a touchdown pass or two for that game as well. So we'll have that boost on site. We're probably looking at about Wednesday for that boost to go on. And it'll be available right up until kickoff on PlayNow.com.
One boost that has always hit this season has been the performance of Cam Tucker.
It's a sure thing. It's
clutching up here.
There's no such thing as a sure thing.
Well, yes, 9-0. Clutching up here each and every week. And we'll do it again next week. We'll review your results of this week.
Oh, yeah. We're feeling confident now that we got one here. We talked about this before kind of going on, that we've had some close calls and everything. And, that is the nature of betting on sports, is sometimes, you're going to look at something and it's going to be inches away, or it's going to be one or two plays that impact the nature of the bet. So, we've had some close calls, but James Butler, he got us over the finish line last week with a very impressive performance. So we're ready to roll into this week now.
Between the Lines with Cam Tucker. We'll talk in a few days, sir.